sometimes we put our mothers at the pinnacle of it, and we tend to want to become better, and it's not a bad thing to
Mm-hmm.
become better than what you're growing up to.
Welcome to another episode of The Sharp Edge with Shiki, where we are elevating every aspect of life. We are still in March and we're focusing on entrepreneurship and business insights. However, I have a special guest with me today. Her name is Alethea, and we're going to call her Liz. And she's going to talk to us all about mother wound and entrepreneurship and how it affects entrepreneurship. So I'm just going to allow Liz to introduce herself.
Hey everyone, thank you for having me, Shiki. So my name is Alicia Gibson, and I'm a mom mindset coach. And what I do is support moms with toxic traits, heal their mother wound, so their business does not suffer, so their relationship does not suffer, and so their children don't have to do it in the future.
Okay, awesome. And I'm pretty sure people are gonna be wondering, where is she from? What's the accent? Where's that accent from? Because as soon as I open my mouth, people are always like, "Where are you from?" So I know they're gonna say that. So where are you from?
Well, I'm from the beautiful islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. If you look on the map, it's like a little dot, but with a whole chain of islands. It's close to Grenada, not too far from Trinidad, and neighboring St. Lucia, and about half an hour away from Barbados.
Oh,
So
nice.
we are right. Yeah, it's a tropical paradise. It's beautiful. So if you get a
Okay.
chance to go there, you need to visit.
Okay, I'll put that on my list of places to go. I never had it on my list. So yeah, I have Barbados on my list. My husband's mom is from Barbados. So
Mm,
yeah, we're trying to go there one of these vacations.
do. Please do.
Yes.
Barbados is awesome. Barbados is and my island is awesome, but Barbados is lovely too.
I know your island is awesome, but my island is awesomer.
Ethiopia, you know?
Yes, Jamaica, Jamaica. I saw someone on social media asking about Jamaican pride, talking about
Mm.
which one is stronger, the Jamaican pride or the Apple
Uh,
user pride? And I was
the
like,
Jamaican is stronger. Jamaican
yes,
wins.
yes, we're just so proud, man.
Yes.
All right. So I know you focus on mother wound, right? And I said to you earlier before we started the podcast that I've never heard the term. When you explain it to me, I understand what it is, but I've never heard it phrased that way. So, do you want to tell our listener what mother wound is?
Definitely. So the mother wound is those needs our mother didn't receive when they were growing up from their mother. So it's kind of a generational thing. It's focused on the emotional, physical, and mental. And it's passed on to generation, as I said before. So things like when we're criticized, like when we're made to feel not good enough, when we don't know how to express ourselves, when we're emotional. And part of it, the big picture of the mother wound is that it's things ingrained in patriarchy, right? Because, a lot of times we are being told how to be woman, how to be mother, how to be a wife. And
Right.
these things take a toll on our woman, and then it comes down to gender. So that's what.
Okay. Nice. That's very interesting. Like I said, I know what it is, but I've never heard it phrased that way. So, Um, I want to know why you focus on this. So, can you share a bit about your personal journey and how the concept of the mother wound has played a role in your life and your entrepreneurship?
Ooh, well, to make it, to compact it, I'm a lifelong story in
In a
a
short
sound.
podcast.
So 4 months after giving birth to my son, everything that I was dealing with when I was from time I was born, let's say that the time I was born to the time I became a young mother, I was suppressing a lot of stuff, and everything came back. Being raped, being molested, all the rejection, abandonment issues, everything came back to me. And what make it even more evident, even though I started my healing at around that time, because I knew something had to give, because I felt I was going out of my mind. I got into entrepreneurship, and I
Right.
thought that was it. Like there was, and everybody make it look so easy, so manageable, and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
then I began to be affected by the very same thing I was affected as a mother. And what happened is that my first business was I started a small shop from just selling sweets, because at the time I had 3 children And me and my husband were struggling. It was real tough. So I decided, we didn't have like stable jobs. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go into town and I'm gonna buy this small pack of sweets that I see them have. And there was a school next to us. And then I packaged those sweets. And when the children passed, I was there with a bowl. So I would,
Oh.
monitor the time when they would go and come from school. So I started that and then I started making some money. And then I decided, you know what? This sweetie business is going good. Let me reinvest and let me start with a kind of, you call it bully beef, with tin of beef
Oh,
and
yeah,
with
that's what we call it too, bully beef. Yes, man. That's corned beef, guys. Corned beef.
yes,
But in the
corned
Caribbean,
beef, yes.
apparently not just Jamaica, we call it bully beef.
Yeah, yeah. So I started buying little stuff like quarter case of these things and then I got a shop.
Hmm.
When my day, where they say that we have a saying back home, trust and don't pay, there is no other way to go broke. So
Yeah.
people started coming and trusting, and I being the people pleasing person I trust, and my shop went down. Then and then I started build back up by doing little doing like chicken and chips and fries and so on, and then I got into wholesale, trusting went down. And then I stumbled on soap making and I stuck with that. But then with that journey, it really highlighted a lot of stuff that I learned from picking up, traits, toxic traits from my mother womb that I had to come face to face with and begin the healing journey.
Got it. All right. So that's an interesting journey. That's an interesting start to your entrepreneurship. I know that so well because I started similar to that, where I would buy three things and then sell it and stuff like that.
I
Yes.
heard.
So,
I listened to this.
so
I was like, wow.
yes, and that trusting, right? Stop trust, Mr.
Mm-hmm,
We used to have a
mm-hmm.
sign in Jamaica that said Mr. Trust dead.
Done. Yes,
Yeah.
we have. Yes.
Yes, but again, as a people pleaser, right? You can't say no, right? And that I talked
Mm,
about that in an episode before, learning to say no. So um
yeah.
all right, so can you discuss a specific challenge that you faced in entrepreneurial
Oh,
journey that you believe was influenced by your mother's wound, and how did you overcome that?
oh, the biggest thing was not being able to ask for help.
Ah,
And yes, and because even though my husband had his family had a farm, and I started this business, but I was so caught up in the mindset that because I was taught as a woman that there's so much roles to be played, and that to be a woman, I have to function in every role. I have to take
mm-hmm.
care of the family, take care of the children. I have to cook, clean, and do everything, and then I have to run my business because that made me. If I ask for help, it made me somewhat of not being a woman.
Right.
Like I can't fulfill that function. So my husband used to see me burnt out, overwhelmed, and when I'm burnt out and overwhelmed, it's like a ticking time bomb, right? One touch and
Yep.
it's yeah.
Yep.
And he's the thing, you don't have to do everything. You could ask for help. But in the back of my mind, I'm saying, but if I ask for help, I feel like, less like I'm not fulfilling
Yes.
that function.
Mm-hmm.
So I really have to go into me inside and really sit there, you know what, this is not helping me. It's not helping my children. It's not helping my business because I can't function fully in my business if I am overwhelmed and I'm taking
Right.
all of these roles. So asking for help, so that discussion when my husband said, you know what, you're not alone in this, you could ask him. So I started to come out of that by really seeing where, I don't have to be extending myself where somebody else can come in and do that for
Right. Okay, so I guess it's similar. I guess experiencing or experienced that because I've learned also over the years. I used to feel like I have to do everything by myself because I grew up with my mom being a single mom. And I used to feel like, oh yeah, I see my mom did it, I can do it, And I
me.
always say that to my husband. At the time he was my boyfriend, and he's like, but I'm here. Like, you're not
Mm.
single, you're here, I'm here, so I can help you, right? I can help. Like, you don't have to do it all. So I know, oh my gosh, like literally, I can relate. I can relate to that. But I didn't know I was suffering from mother wound.
Yeah,
Right?
because you see, the mother womb doesn't, although it seems, it might come across as a negative connotation,
Hmm.
it's really not because we pick up traits from our mother. We see them doing stuff and we think that is the way to do it. We see
Right.
them functioning in relationship and we think that is the way to do it. We see them doing business because I grew up seeing my mom in business and
Mm-hmm.
she was doing it and she would always say, you see, women always have to do things by themselves. And
Right.
it's ingrained into you and you now come up with this, you know what? Yeah. As a woman, I always have to
We're
be on top.
superheroes, right? We can do it all.
Yeah.
We can do it all. But would you say a positive trait from your mother would that would be considered mother wound, right? Or yeah, is it like the bad parts of it? Because what if you see, I would say my mom is very, very hardworking, like super, super hardworking. I'm like, lady, like you 60 something, sit down, you don't have to be working so hard, right? If I have that trait that now I'm hardworking, is that a mother wound? Because I don't see
It,
that as
it,
a bad thing.
it's not a bad thing if you find balance
Okay.
because the thing is, you working hard is good, but it's when you have those things where, okay, for example, you want to do everything by yourself, you get overboard, and then you're passive projecting when you're overboard, you're angry, you're overwhelmed, you can't think properly, and it's affecting your
Oh yeah.
relationship, it's affecting how you show up in your business. That is where the mother wound, the negative side of it comes in. But it's really, when we say the wound, it's really what is affecting you negatively.
Got
So
you.
finding balance within that is very important for you because part of it is really chartering your life for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Part of over healing the mother wound is really chartering life for yourself.
Okay. So as you're going through all of that and entrepreneurship, trying to juggle all the things you're doing, recognizing that you have issues, right? Because those are issues, whether we want to say it or not. It may sound bad, right? Like you got issues. We all got issues. I don't care. I got
We
issues,
all,
right?
yeah, we
So
all have issues.
right. So
We
as you're
all
going
have.
through that, recognizing your issues, what steps have you taken towards healing your mother wound, and how has this process impacted on your personal growth and your business success?
From when the first thing I started, because I didn't really understand what was going on. But all I knew that it was causing me pain,
Mm-hmm.
especially in my business, because I was doubting myself a lot and all of that self-doubt, questioning, exaggerating, catastrophizing, and the whole thing when you're going into entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I I began to I took the time to identify, become self-aware, and to reflect. Because the truth is, you would not see it going back to your childhood until you sit with yourself and you reflect and see, okay, where who modeled this behavior from? Where
Mm.
did I hear this saying? Who made me feel this way? And where did this feeling come from? And so you become self-aware and you reflect. And that is where you begin. And then within that, you're gonna start to see your triggers.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna start to see those emotional triggers, those things that popped up, whether your husband might say, but babes, you don't have to work so long. And you don't like that because you know what? It's my business and I want to work at it. And as a woman, you have that persona to live up to. And sometimes we put our mothers at the pinnacle of it and we tend to want to become better. And it's not a bad thing to
Mm-hmm.
become better than what you're growing up to. But then it's really bad when you allow people who really are there around you to support you when it becomes a trigger. So you have to now identify those emotional triggers. So that is first identifying, becoming self-aware, reflecting, identifying triggers. And you have to acknowledge that you have been holding on to these things and you have allowed them to affect your life. And that was the hardest part for me.
Right. But what about and that's good, right? Because I'm in the place where you are, where I'll be doing things and I'm self-aware. Like I usually, and it wasn't always like this. As I'm growing, as I'm getting older, I realize, okay, I'll stop, and if something is bothering me, I'll stop to try and analyze it. I'm like my own therapist, right? But what about those people who they don't have no idea what's going on? They know they're miserable, they know they're overwhelmed, they know they're burning out, they know they're taking on a lot, but they don't know where it's coming from. They don't have the knowledge that you are providing to us right now. Or as for myself, I become my own therapist where I'll sit and I'll stop and I'll even journal things, right? When does this really happen to me? When do I feel this way? And I'll do that kind of stuff. But what about those people who are not there yet, right? They're just going through life and they don't know, they're not stopping to analyze, they're not trying to think what's going on. They just know that, okay, I'm not happy, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overworked, I'm frustrated. Like, how do they get to that place of being self-aware, right? Or trying to figure out what's going on?
It's first begin with, because we get caught up in life so much with going about
Yeah,
our everyday thing and don't even understand. And even self, they might not. It's the mother wound. It's the looking at life, because you have to want to change for change to come.
right.
Because, and for me, I had to, okay, for me, as I mentioned, it started with my son when I began to mirror these things. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew that if I began to mirror these things, it will continue down in my lineage. And what I've done over the years when around this is that I've created like a step by step program that helps people to identify that. Because even if you come and you hear me talk about the mother one and you don't know how to identify yours, you don't know how to be self-aware. I've created a checklist, and that checklist is what I tend to refer to back. As
Nice.
knowledgeable I might be, I still have to do these assessments. I still have to go back and check where did I get, because healing is not a one-time thing.
Nope.
It, it's continual, and sometimes when you begin to heal one thing, something come up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have dreams. Sometimes the subconscious remind you that this thing happened and that is why you have it. And then you have to go through the process of this, becoming self-aware, reflective journaling. And I'm happy that you brought up journaling, because girl,
Mm-hmm.
I have so much books, like journals that I've written into, and that is very.
Good. Does this only affect women, or do you think it affects men as well?
Oh, it affects all of us.
Okay.
And I think because it's not only, we don't only have mother wounds, we have father wounds.
Oh, so it's called no. Okay, so the mother wound could be to your children in general, not just the girl child, right? It could be girl, boy, your children.
Yes, the
And
mother
then
wound.
and then the father wound, which we call you got daddy issue, right? Maybe
Exactly.
that's what that
Ex-
is. Okay. All right.
exactly.
Gotcha. So it could be, so for my listeners, it could be men and women
Hmm.
if you're realizing that certain things are happening. Um the checklist that you mentioned, is it a free resource, or is it a free
It's
resource?
free.
Okay, is
It's
there a
free.
way that we can link it where the viewers could
Yeah.
probably get it?
Well, I'm on TikTok, as Mom Mindset Coach. I'm also on Instagram. So if you go up in my link in the bio, you click the link. Normally, I would advise to do the quiz first, but you could do the checklist,
Okay.
because what I also have a quiz that helps you to identify if you have a people pleasing tendency. Are you neglecting yourself? Or you have an issue with boundaries? It's
I
when you
want to take
trade.
that quiz.
It send you straight to a guide, so it could help you through it. And just for your listeners, I will provide that guide free once you take the quiz.
Okay. Gotcha. Yes,
Right.
I'm definitely gonna take that quiz. I wanna take that quiz, the people pleaser quiz. I don't even have to take it. I already know my people pleaser. I don't even know why I would even take it. All right, so that's good. So you said you're on TikTok and Instagram as Mom
Mm-hmm.
Mindset
My
Transform.
mom mindset coach, and mindset.
Okay. All right, so that's a good resource, right? The checklist, the quiz, those are
Yeah.
really good things. So, despite the challenges, can you share any positive outcomes or strength that have emerged from your journey with the mother wound, particularly in the role as an entrepreneur?
For me, it's my commitment and tenacity in terms of to succeed. Because if it wasn't for my relationship with my mother, I wouldn't have been this um, committed and passionate.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw, even though it has a duality, because I say everything has a duality, right? As we talk about, you saw your mother hard working, and
Yeah.
now you're hard working, but then the balance. There's a balance. So it helped me understand that even though there is um, the flip side to it, I can have that balance. I could have that positive side to really focus on my business, to build, to really understand that even though I can be kind in terms of people pleasing, I can be kind, but no is a full sentence, it's a sentence, as
Yes.
you said by itself. No
Yes.
is a sentence. So it gave me that duality in my business. And it also helped me to know that there is a difference between kindness and where people can use it.
Right.
So focusing on healing that, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, it helped me find who I am in terms of if I'm if I'm kind out of the things that was taught to me from my mother, well, the people pleasing aspect, or if I'm kind because that is who I am. So it helped me
Right.
find myself and find that balance. If you get what
Yeah, totally get it. Totally get it. So it helps, right? Because you learn to balance things. I feel like
I'm
that's kind of, yeah, you get to balance things in, and it helps in entrepreneurship because you have to balance, you need to balance life, right? You can't just be working, 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 or you can't just be playing because you got work to do, right? So you really have to learn to balance that. So that's really a good strength to learn from it. So they always say you can learn from everything in life is a lesson. So don't
Mhm.
always look at the bad side. Look at the glass half full. All
Oh,
right.
exactly,
All right.
exactly.
Yeah, I love it. All right. So in what ways do you believe sharing your story now that you're sharing with us? And I'm pretty sure you share with other people. So sharing your story and insights and the mother wound can contribute to the broader entrepreneurial community.
So for me, I believe that having the awareness and the power to rewrite your story as an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur, it gives you the room to flourish and grow. So I believe that even if we face these challenges and our parents face these challenges and it comes to generation, we can really be the change. Because I call people who are on the same path as I am generational trendsetters. That's what I
Nice.
call.
I love
Yeah,
that
that's what
phrase,
I
generational trendsetter. We're not,
yes.
so there's a generational curse that follows people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're the generational
Generational
trendsetter because
trendsetter.
you're setting. I love it. I love it.
Yes, because we're changing, we're redefining, we're doing the things that our mothers didn't have the resources to do.
Yes.
We are overcoming and we are creating healthy relationship, even though we didn't see healthy relationship.
Right.
So, and when it comes to business, we are in a place where we can create businesses that could go to large for generations, for our
Yeah.
children, that could really, set our name on the map. I just say put our name on the map to make
Generational
it
wealth.
global.
Yes, we're creating
Exactly,
generational
right,
wealth. Yes.
right. So that's how I view it from
Okay. So as like literally as you're talking, I'm just thinking about certain things. And my last episode, I talk about how I started becoming an entrepreneur and I didn't realize that's what I was doing. I just know that, these are the things I was doing. But just talking to you, know, like literally the bulb just went off, like the bulb just clicked that my mom was an entrepreneur.
that.
And she used to go to Kingston to the wholesales and buy things from the wholesale cheaper, then take it to Montego Bay to sell those things because what they have in Kingston, I guess they wouldn't have it in Montego Bay, right? So she'll go to Kingston and she will purchase things from the wholesale cheaper and then take it to the market and she'll sell it on a hand cart. I don't know if you know like
Mm.
that hand cart. I don't
Yeah,
know if
I
that's in
know.
in your
Yeah,
country,
yeah, yeah.
but
Hey, we
so
have everything there.
okay. So I'm just thinking about it now. Like, that's probably what I saw. Like, I saw her do, because every holiday I would want to go to the market with her. She didn't like to
Mm.
bring me because she always said that I'm eating
Your
profit when I
profit.
come, right? Because when I go to the market, she has to buy
You
like
want.
lunch for me and dinner and breakfast. She's like, listen, you're eating up my profit. But I used to love going there in the summertime. And that's probably where like I
Yeah.
saw that and didn't even realize until like literally it just clicked. Like I've been here talking about I wasn't born to be an employee and I don't know where I got it from. I got it from my mother. I
Yes,
got it
we
from my
saw it.
mother. Like, look at
Exactly. You got it from
that.
your mama. Yes, yes, and that is
And
it.
I remember I used to be like, I don't know, oh, I'm so good at math, but my mom been selling for years, and
Mm.
she could calculate something in her head faster than anything. Like
Yeah,
she's gonna give you your change back or tell you you owe her more money in a split second. Like, and
there
we don't
you
even
go.
realize, like, oh my goodness. Okay, mama,
Yes.
I thank you.
You see,
I thank
yes,
you.
thank them. We have to thank them because the thing is
Yeah.
that they did the best that they could. And it's not to shame our mothers or anything. It's just
Mm-hmm.
to say, okay, they did the best that they could with what they have. Because look at what they transferred. Because I saw my mom running a bit. She had a fall farm. She did wholesale. She sell clothes. And she was trying to get her way out of poverty. And so
Right.
just did your mother. And now look at where we are
Right.
because of what they said,
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. And I know hopefully you touch on it, but I remember I was watching one of your like your post on Instagram and you were talking about not showing love to your kids.
Mm.
And I remember I think the first time I heard my mom told me that she loves me, I was probably in my 20s. But
Mm.
it didn't, at no point in time did I not think she loves me because her actions tells me that she loves me, right? But for her to actually say, I love you, I don't think I heard that until I'm in my 20s. But no, she would constantly tell her grandkids. She'll tell my brother kids, she'll tell my kids constantly, oh, I love you. And I'm like, really? Like, you know,
I know, right?
but there was no doubt that she loves me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no doubt that she loves us as children. But I honestly don't think I've heard it until I was in my 20s. So yeah, looking forward, how do you see your experience with the motherhood influencing your future goals, aspirations, and contributions to your field?
Okay. So for me, I just want, because feeling that created this earth, that my life is a canvas and I'm the creator of my reality. And I am no longer living up to the expectations of my mom because her expectation was given to her from her mother's expectation.
Mm-hmm.
I want women to have that same, idea. I'm not saying neglect your mother. It's not about that. It's about healing those things that she couldn't have so we could propel ourselves into the future. So I want other women to transcend from the norm of staying broken to transcend in their lives, to live it by their own terms and to thrive into what God intended them to be. So,
Yes.
which, as I said before, that we are generational trendsetters. So, this is my goal and aspiration and contribution to all women that we could heal these things that our parents, our grandparents didn't have to heal. So, we could stand high and mighty and say, we got
Love it. Yes. So
this.
all right, we're gonna wrap it up soon. What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs who are also navigating the complexities of the mother wound while trying to build and grow their business? And I'm listening keenly because I want to know myself.
Okay, so first, you have to realize that what others give to you wasn't your fault, but however, it's your purpose and your responsibility to heal it.
Hmm.
Because without that, your success is null and void. You can't stick in a victim mentality. You can't be saying, oh, it's this person's fault or that person's fault. You have to take the bull by its horn, as we just say home, and you have to ride that bull to where you want it. You have to steer that bull to where you want it to go. And for that, you have to show up as your healed version. You have to make the mistake, learn the lesson, and just brush your shoulders off and
And keep
continue going.
going. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So let us know again where we can find you and any last thing that we didn't cover that you want to put out there, share it with us. I'm all for it because you mentioned some things that I'm like, I did not realize.
I am happy that I could bring you that.
Yes,
So
I
you
did.
can, the aha moments, right? The aha
Oh
moments.
yeah.
Trust me, I've through my research in the mother womb, I've had a lot of aha moments. And that's why it took me to a place of forgiving my mother also, because I
Mhm.
held on to a lot of things from childhood. So I had to learn to forgive and I had to learn to release and accept that, you know what? She wasn't even in a place to give me what I needed in some ways. She
Yes.
did the best that she could, and I want to be better for me and for my children. And that's how I want to show up in my business to be the best I could be in creating and providing service. So you can find me on Instagram at Mom Mindset, Mom Transform, same Mom Mindset, and on TikTok and even here on YouTube. And
What's
you
the
said
YouTube
check
channel?
out
What's the YouTube channel name?
Mom Mindset.
Okay,
Mom mindset. Yeah,
got it.
same.
Okay.
So Yeah, that's where we are. That's where I am.
It's really beautiful that you're doing this, that you're recognizing this, and that you're willing to help other women that are going through this, and men too, right? Because I'm pretty sure there are some
Yeah.
men who are
Oh yeah,
going
men are
through
following
certain,
me
yes.
and they're asking questions. Yeah, but because I'm a mom and it showed up
Right.
after I have my child, so I really see that era because nobody really pay attention to the mom during those times when they have children.
No.
It's all on the baby and not on the mom. So I was kind of like, no, I needed support and I needed somebody who understood. And I am not finding anyone who is really focusing on mom in that time because, oh, when you've been through trauma, having a child, that's when things start to come back up. So that's why.
Yes, and for my listeners, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Mm-mm.
I've struggled with that for years. I'm still struggling with it, but not as bad as before. I refuse to ask for help. I refuse to accept help,
Mm.
right? There'll be people that are willing to help me and I'm like, "No, I'm good. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I got it. I got it." Listen, now my daughter is not following that though. My daughter asks for help for everything. And the other day I was like, "Hey, go clean your room." She's like, "Where are the people that clean the house?" I'm like, girl, so she won't be afraid to ask for help.
You
I,
see, we're changing it already. We're changing it
yes,
already.
yes. I recently started doing that because I used to be like, if I hire someone to come and clean my house, especially my mom, they're gonna be like,
Hmm.
what, you can't clean your own house? You're a woman. Like, are
Yeah.
you really hiring someone to do that? I've seen people criticize this one lady on Instagram that I love so much, and she's doing such a good job and she's excelling in her business and everything, and she doesn't cook, right? She has someone that
Mhm.
cooks. And people criticize her all the time on Instagram talking about what kind of wife are you? What kind of mom are you? You're
Yeah.
not feeding your family. And I'm like, listen, if you need the help, delegate,
Let me,
delegate, delegate,
let me,
delegate, right?
let me tell you something. If I don't have to cook or clean or do housework, I will be happy because I only do it if I have to, because I have to. If I
Right.
didn't have it, if I had a choice, I would.
Right. I mean, she can afford to hire someone to cook for her. Why not?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Um, I mean, it's different from not knowing how to cook, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
I guess it is what
It's
it
your
is.
choice.
It's your
Yeah, people
choice. If
choice.
you don't want to learn, you don't
Your
want to
life.
learn. It is what it is. You move on, you excel in what you excel in, and you delegate what you're not good at. Right? Simple as
Definitely.
that.
Definitely.
So as women, play on our strength, delegate the weakness that are the things that we don't like to do. If you don't like to do it, don't do it. We don't have to do it. We don't have to do it.
Exactly.
All
Exactly.
right. So thank you so much, Liz, for joining us
It was a
on our
yeah.
podcast. That was so much good information. And followers, my listeners, please go and follow her on social media platforms. And if you're watching this and you did not subscribe, yes, click that subscribe button now. All right. And you can also get this episode on other podcast streaming platforms, iTunes, Amazon, all the others. I don't remember what they are, but you can get it there. So thank you again for tuning in to another episode of The Sharp Edge with Shiki, where we are elevating every aspect of life. Ready, set, goals.